Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to be on this webinar today. Myself, Lolita, Sheriow, and Iman, Youssef, Yaya. Did I pronounce that right, Iman?
You sure did, Lo.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have a fun webinar, and you guys are going to learn a ton, how to effectively negotiate with motivated sellers, also how to get more sellers to say yes to your offer, to close more deals, and to make more money. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have leads that are sitting on your desk right now, but you are absolutely just fearful and will break out in a sweat because you don't want to talk to the seller, you don't know how to talk to the seller, you don't know how to negotiate. And we have some really, really key things that we want to share with you guys on today. So make sure that you log off Facebook, you turn your phone off, you turn that TV off. Is that right? Isn't that right, Iman?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to dig in and just share some great things with you. Now, what you're going to learn today, you're going to learn how to build a rapport with the seller. Very important. You're going to learn what key questions to ask. You're going to learn identifying who the decision maker is. You're going to learn a key strategy that will put thousands extra into your pocket at closing, and so much more. So before we dig into that, let's talk a little bit about who I am. You know, it's important for those of you that may not know me, that may not know Iman, who we are. I am a real estate investor. I'm the founder of Heartstone Management, Inc., which is a real estate investing company here based out of Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm a mentor. I am currently an active real estate investor. So I talk and negotiate with sellers every day, all right? I've also been a full-time real estate investor since 2008, and I've negotiated and been a part of hundreds of real estate deals that have closed. I have made thousands of dollars using the same negotiating tips that you will hear today. Now, I'm going to let Iman share a little bit with you about her. Iman?
Yes, as Lo has up there on the screen, my name is Iman. My name is Iman Youssef Yaya, also known as that, that Philly wholesaler chick. And like Lo, I too am a full-time real estate wholesaler. I've been full-time since 2010. I'm the founder of Belmar Investment Group, LLC, based here in Philadelphia, PA, also since 2010. I've also successfully negotiated and closed on many, many deals, averaging about 4 to 5 deals per month. And I, too, have made thousands of dollars using the same negotiating tips that you will hear from both Lo and I here today.
Absolutely. And just to share with you guys what our connection is, how we actually met on Facebook in 2010. Iman, which is the wonderful world of social media, and you and I talk about that, all the time.
Right.
How Facebook and social media has just pretty much changed our business in a great way. As well as being able to do deals and connect with other people, which that's a whole nother webinar, right?
Right.
Absolutely. We're both, again, full-time wholesale real estate investors and mentors, so we definitely have those things in common. And we both love what we do and enjoy helping others succeed by sharing information and knowledge about real estate, which we are doing with you guys today. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is build rapport. Iman, did you want to go ahead and dig in and start sharing about building rapport and the importance of it?
Yeah, I mean, like Lo has here on the screen, I think, building rapport plays a very large part in how successful you are at, getting a deal under contract. I really do think it's very important. It's important to listen to folks, try to identify with things that you have in common with people. I don't mean, having to reach, for things, but, you never know. Maybe you went to the same high school, you're from the same part of town, you went to the same college, or, just try to listen for things like that and build off of that. And you'll be surprised that once you make that connection with people, I had a situation very recently where, the woman was very guarded. And once I told her I used to live in the county next to her, the walls immediately went down, and she told me she wasn't going to call the other two people that had contacted her back. So just to give you a little bird's eye view of, what we're talking about here.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to add to Iman is that, people do business with people they're comfortable with.
Right.
So if you can keep that single thing, one of the most important things in mind, when you make people feel comfortable, then they will buy from you. And I've actually had clients that call me back, based off of the rapport that we built from, one or two conversations before. And one lady actually shared with me, she's like, you know what, Lolita, I've talked to several different investors, but I felt like that they were only just trying to swindle me. That was the term that one lady used, and
wow.
just, say, well, your house is worth this, so I'll pay for it. Very dry, not asking, well, how are you doing today? How's the weather in your area? Oh, we're getting rain, or whatever the case may be. Just like you had shared with, Iman earlier, you just have to really take the time, and it's just a little bit of that extra effort that can go a long way.
Yes,
and absolutely. And another thing here, real estate, well, I just want to share that real estate is all about relationship sales, not value-added sales. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And also identifying the decision maker in the transaction, obviously, which is critical. You don't want to waste one or two conversations with someone on the phone that isn't even on title. So you have to, you have to identify who's the owner of the house, who's the owner on record, talk with them, and build that rapport. Did you want to share something else there on this, Iman?
Yeah, I mean, back to yes, that's very key. It's key that you're speaking to the actual person on title. But like you said, in terms to go back to the second bullet point there, that it's all about relationships and just being yourself. Like you don't have to try too hard. Again, just that's where that whole listening skill comes in at, where you're able to naturally have a conversation with folks, and you're able to hear. In order to make that connection with people. You don't want to be, phony about it, but, be yourself, but make connections when you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great information. Now, here's an example of key questions to ask. Is there a mortgage on the property, or is it free and clear? Any back taxes, liens, judgments? What repairs, if any, are needed? How soon are you looking to sell? Why are you selling? If we pay cash, took the property in its as-is condition and closed in X amount of days, what's the least amount you would take? So these are some of the example key questions to ask. Notice that we did leave off on here the obvious questions to ask, primarily being, who's the owner of the property, the address of the property, the contact information. You obviously want to get all of those answers to those basic questions, but here are some of the key questions that you want to ask. And Iman, did you want to pretty much kind of emphasize on some of these questions here, or maybe add even a few key questions that investors want to ask sellers?
Right. I think, if I could expound a little bit on that. The reason that you want to ask these questions because these are negotiating tools for you. I mean, if there's still a mortgage on it, obviously that's going to affect, what offer amount. And, you know what I mean? If there's back taxes, liens, and judgments. If I could just add real quickly, typically when I, say for instance, I get a call that comes in, goes to voicemail, I follow up. What I like to generally do is, one, I want to see who's on title. Two, I want to see if there are any back taxes on the property because, that can greatly affect your offer amount, in a positive way. And, of course, the repairs, how quickly these folks are looking to sell. And these are very key questions because, again, like I said, you can use these things to build your case as to why you're only able to, why you're able to offer what you would be offering. And if I could just add one more thing, Lo.
Sure.
Something that I learned very recently, and when that person comes back, you want to say, is that the absolute best that you can do?
That's good.
And the reason why I say that is because we all like to, we want to make people happy. And, given enough time to think about that, 9 times out of 10, that probably isn't the best that they're able to do. So that's a very important question to ask, too. If after all of that, is that the absolute best that you can do? And that's all.
Absolutely. Yes, that is an excellent key question there that you added there. And I really like what you shared. Building your case, I think that's important for you all to really understand that as you're asking these questions and making notes and, kind of digesting what they're telling you, you're building your case. Once you get your case, kind of like an attorney, once you get all the facts and information, you build your case, guess what? You can use all of that to effectively negotiate to get the price that you want, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a point to every single question that you see, every bullet point on here. You're not just, there's a very specific reason why you want to ask those questions. And it goes back to what you just said, Lo.
Absolutely. Now, here we actually have a live call that I did with a seller. And before I actually play this call, I want you all to understand that this was a cold lead. This lead came in through, one of our online websites. So once, they filled out the information online, I actually called the seller. This was my first time talking to her. So that's what I mean. This was my first time talking to her. And, I got the information that I needed to get. And I'll let you hear and see how I handled the questions that she had for me. And after the call, I'll also share some tips with you as well. Hi, can I speak to Stacy? Hi, yes, this is her. Hi, Stacy, this is Lolita, and I'm calling because I saw online that you have a property for sale. Is that still available? Yes, it is. Okay, and can you tell me a little bit about the property and maybe what your asking price is? Okay, what do you want to know? Is the property currently vacant? Yes, it is. Okay. And how long has it been vacant? I don't know, maybe a month. Okay. And are there a lot of repairs that's needed on the home? Well, it's in the condition. I kept up with it. It was good. Okay. And may I ask why you're selling? It doesn't say here on the ad, so I was just curious. Well, I'm trying to see what people offer me for it. Okay, so you're pretty much just trying to see what you can get. And would you be open to a cash offer on your home? Well, you need to find some right. Okay. Now let me ask you, do you know how much the property is worth or value? Well, the last time I checked, I think it was valued at like around, I don't know, 50. I'm not sure. Okay, 50,000. Now, is that from an actual appraisal that you got, or? That's what they're charging me for taxes on. Okay, so pretty much the county tax value. Okay, so what are you asking? What is your asking price? Well, I'd like to take it as well if possible. Okay. Well, we don't buy properties at retail or market value. We are investors. Again, we are cash buyers. So we can offer you an offer that's cash based upon the value as well as whatever repairs are needed. So would you be interested in a discounted cash offer? Well, I don't know. I'm open to hear whatever you have to offer. Okay. And kind of go from there. Okay. Is there any way that we can take a look at the property or schedule a time and take a look at it? Sure. When are you available? We are available Saturday. Saturday about 11 o'clock. Would that be okay for you? Can you call me back and you're looking to get close to market value.
So I thought that I do want to sell it, but I do want to make some money on it.
Okay.
And I just want cash.
Okay. And again, I just want to make sure. I'm hearing you correctly. For a cash offer, again, we would have to get it cheaper, obviously, than the market value. So it would have to be discounted lower. So again, would you be open to that, or you still?
How much lower are you talking about selling? How low do you guys sell it?
Well, we buy between 60 and 65% below market value. I mean, obviously, I can't give you an offer because right now, because I haven't seen the property, but just to kind of give you an idea, that's where we purchase. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
So how much do you offer? How do you pay?
Well, again, based upon the value, if the value is $60,000, then it's going to be between 60 and 65% of that particular value. And again, it's a cash offer, and typically we close within 7 to 14 business days. So again, if that's something you would be open to, then yeah, we would like to schedule, to come out and take a look at it.
Okay. Well, let's think about it. Why don't you call me back in a couple of days, and then give me some time to let what you just told me. And if I decide I want to do, do you have a number of it and call you back?
Sure, absolutely. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
Okay. It's 817-439-0843. And again, my name is Lolita. Lolita.
Do you have any references?
Sure, absolutely.
Or takeout?
Sure, absolutely. Do you have an email address? And what I can do is send you a link with some information of references of people that I've worked with.
Okay.
What's your email? Yes, I'm ready.
It's 25@yahoo.com.
Okay, I'll get that over to you within the hour.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then, can you send me your phone number and all your contact information there, and then we can go from there?
Absolutely, not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. Okay. I just wanted to share that on this call, there's a couple of things that I really want you to notice that happened. Number one, she kept asking me for a number. She wanted me to give her a number. And how I handle sellers like that, typically I do not give them a number, especially if we have not seen the property. So that's why I kept stating that we buy below market value between 60-65% cash. We can close fast, yada, yada, yada. Now, at first, she wanted to get back with me in about 2 weeks. But as we continued to talk, then she said, well, let's touch bases in a couple of days. And the reason why I kind of blocked out the physical address is because this particular lead is still pending. This has been pretty recent. I have built a good rapport with her. Her and her husband are thinking about, this is updated status, they are thinking about the offer that we did submit, because we actually did go out to the property and take a look at it and got an assessment of repairs and verbally gave them an offer. So that is an example of handling a seller or talking to a seller, a cold lead, if you will, from first time talking to them, and how you can kind of handle them, especially at first, because she also, it seemed like she really wasn't interested in talking to me. But as I continue to throw out, we buy cash, cash offer can close in 7 to 10 business days. We're really interested in the property, yada, yada, yada. Then she was more interested. So anyway, that's the status. Now, Iman, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Well.
Okay, now we're going to listen to your call. If you want to share what type of call this is, and what everyone can expect to hear as well.
Right. This lead it's an absentee owner lead. And the way that I got the lead was that I sent out a yellow letter, and to give you an updated status on this lead, on this property, I actually contracted it, and we should be closing Wednesday at 10 a.m. So it was a long road. However, I initially spoke to her. This was a person, again, I'm in Philadelphia. She lives in Jacksonville, Florida. So, and she hadn't been in the property in many, many years. So, when I initially spoke to her, I asked her, essentially, what did she need? That's another thing. That's another way that you can get, price info. What is it that you need in order to sell the property? And her initial price was $8,000. Now, mind you, this is what I'm going to say. I before I called her back, I saw that there was close to $8,000 in back taxes. Had I not done that, I don't think that I would have been able to negotiate it down as low as I did. So I did that, and so I'm going to let you listen to the call, and I'll give you some information, follow-up information after that.
Great.
So keep in mind, she wanted $8,000 in addition to having back taxes of almost $8,000 paid off. So just remember that.
Got you.
Hello?
Hi, Ms. Thomas?
Yes?
Hi, this is Iman. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. I guess you weren't sure it was me, huh? I said, I guess you didn't recognize the voice, huh? Yeah.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not recognize the voice at the time.
Right. Yeah, I'm calling because I went down to L&I yesterday just to, because like I said, I did give them a call via the telephone. I believe it was Friday, but sometimes you may not get everything you need to know by way of phone. So I went to L&I yesterday, and I'm going to fax it. I can fax this over to you from the number that you faxed me that letter, correct? Okay, yeah. So, essentially, because, the city had to go out and, clean out and seal up the, properties. I'm just going to read to you a little bit of what it says, but I'll fax. It's just 2 pages saying the department, inspected the subject property, designated it as unsafe. But if you fail to comply, this, that, and the other, with this order of the city, you may eliminate the unsafe condition by repair or demolition. So, for the city to go out and, seal up a property, obviously it's in violation. So, and they charge for that too, Ms. Thomas. I think, I forget, I don't know if it's like close to $1,000 or whatever for that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry, were you saying something?
I was telling my grandson kept picking up the phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So anyway, given that, because there's one part I wanted to read you. I can't. Let me try to locate that really fast. Yeah, it says this designation will remain until the structure is made safe and secure or taken down and removed. So failure to pay such bill will result in a lien. Blah blah blah. That's what it says. But like I said, I'm gonna fax that over to you. So I just wanted to know. Given that, and obviously it's in really pretty bad condition. If you would, just take what's owed on the property, the taxes, and be done with it.
I would like to get this.
What was that, Ms. Thomas? I'm sorry.
I would like to, yeah, with the taxes and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, get a little something off of it.
Okay.
It might not be the 8th, but I would like to have, see if you can work something in and let me know what you can come up with.
Okay. Well, what are you talking exactly?
Okay, with them saying that, and then if they take it down and do all that, that's about another $1,000.
Yeah. Well, no, not take it down, but that's just what the city's.
Put it out. Yeah. Well, not that they won't take down the.
Right. As long as it's made safe and secure, and you know what I'm saying, which we would do, given we purchased the property. So you're looking at the like I said, I forget what the exact dollar amount is. I'll put it on the paper. I mean, you can always check too, Ms. Thomas, if you just go to the. I don't know if I don't know if you have internet access or not, but I think it last when I checked it, I think it was close to 8, if not 8. But like I said, I'll put the web address on there too, so that you can verify what I'm telling you. So that you can check what the tax balance, the real estate tax balance is. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
because I couldn't get a property tax thing.
right, you get it right in the mail. So, but so yeah, you should. When was the last one you got?
I think I got one like last month. It's like 7 something was the last one I got.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was close to 8. I think it might have been 79 or something like that.
Yeah, I know it was 70. Yeah, I know it was 70.
Yeah. So I had checked it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. I have it in my notes, but
yeah,
so
doing that and whatever else that they've got to do. I mean, if I could even get a few thousand.
okay,
I know.
right, okay,
A few thousand,
okay. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would be willing to do that.
Okay.
So I know it is 8, and now with that other stuff that you said that they are
Right.
6, and I'll read it and see.
Yeah. So,
I would like to really get them.
right. You know what? And I had gone to because I actually was at City Hall yesterday because I had to check on another property that. Well, actually, a few other properties that we had on a contract to check to see if. I know you said there weren't liens and judgments, but sometimes you never know. There was something. I didn't write it, and I thought I had jotted it down. I can always check.
Yeah, I've never gotten anything.
Yeah.
As a lien.
So, but you know what it might be, Ms. Thomas, that what the city is assessing for sealing up, cleaning out and sealing up the property. But like I said, I could check on that again. So, but anyway, I'm gonna fax this over to you, okay? And then we'll go from there. I mean, I could fax the contract to you and everything. So, alrighty.
All right.
All right. So, how was your weekend? Pretty good. Pretty good weekend.
It was great.
It was.
We have like 8-degree weather.
Yeah.
83.
Yeah, it was spring. It was spring weather here too, so it was nice. And now it's officially spring, right? Thank God.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right. So listen, I'm. What was that, Miss Thomas?
I'm not looking for. I hate when it gets up to 90 and 100.
Right. My mother's the same way. She's a fall baby, so I don't know if you were born in the fall.
No, I was born in May, so
Oh, really?
I'm a baby.
Oh, okay.
When it starts getting past, and it get 90 and past that.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Yeah, and then coupled with that humidity, that doesn't help either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But anyway, so I'm gonna fax this over to you probably in the next, at the most, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And okay, so then just
I'll
yeah.
call them and tell them to look for facts for me.
Okay, so excuse me, you want me to give you a call a little later on today, or you want to call me? How do you want to do it?
Give me a call because I got some people back and forth in the house right now.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I'll give you.
A call.
Yeah, I'll give you a call later on this afternoon.
Either late this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right. That sounds excellent. Okay.
Going out about 7 o'clock. So.
What time you going out, Miss Thomas?
About 7.
Oh, about 7 this evening. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some right now doing some work.
Okay.
Well, I guess it'll be between 5 and 7. I mean, 5 and 6 will be good.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a call then. I'll give you a call. Late this afternoon, about around that time, between 5 and 6. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you then. Okay. Alrighty. You're very welcome. Bye bye.
Iman, you there?
I'm here.
Great call.
Yeah, thank you. There's a couple of things I wanted to point out. Like I said, initially when I spoke to her, she was asking $8,000. In addition to almost $8,000 in back taxes, I went to take a look at the property. It had been sealed up, cleaned out, and sealed up by the city, so they charged for that. Which I knew if that was the case, it was in bad condition, which I didn't even need to go in. So it needed a lot of work. And if you notice, I always use get the person's name. Well, it's important to know the person's name anyway, but use the person's name as often as you can, because why? People like to hear the sound of their name. So if you take note of that too, that's these are very subtle, powerful things. So and so anyway, she wanted 8. I got her. I had gotten her to 2 actually. Wound up, we negotiated. She was asking for 3. She went from 8,000 to 5,000 from the first call to the second phone call. Why? Because I built my case. I told her, the back taxes and the fact that the property needed a lot of work. I went to the license and inspection. That's what L&I is. Told her I would fax information. I told her she could look up the taxes. Why? Because I want her to feel comfortable. I don't want her to feel like I'm just somebody like you had made mention of earlier, Lo, is somebody that's just interested in getting a house. You know what I mean? You can't
Right.
Relationship piece. All of this is all very, very important information. So we settled on $2,500. So the contract price was $2,500.
Excellent. And there's so many key things in your call. And again, I just want to reemphasize to those of you that are on here that are taking notes. Again, my call was a first call to a homeowner that submitted their information on a website. So she had submitted everything that I needed to know about the property and their motivation. Therefore, from my call, I wanted to see how motivated she was, number one, and also to let her know that we buy using cash and that we could help them and that we could close quickly, since she had emphasized that on the notes that she had submitted from the website. So I definitely want you guys to understand that. Now, Iman's call, she had already been in touch with the homeowner, and she was following up with her based upon her research, building her case in order to effectively negotiate. So I think that's very important for you all to understand. And Iman, again, I think your call was great because you built your case. You were very particular, and I did notice that you did say Mrs. Thompson often. And people do like it when you refer to their names.
Right. And at the end, I also, we had wrapped up the business piece of the conversation, and then we had a little light conversation. It was all natural because, you always, excuse me, want to feel like you just, when you're talking to people, just keep in mind, hey, talk to them like you would talk to a friend. I mean, don't be too laid back, but you know what I mean? Just two people having a conversation. You just happen to be talking about real estate. So, and if you keep that in mind and you come from that place, you'll it gets easier. You'll find that the conversation is very easy as well. So.
Absolutely, and that rolls over into hearing the needs and the wants of the seller. And before we go any further, I just want to, share Iman. I remember one of my mentees, actually called me and said, hey, Lo, I got a call from a seller from, I think, a bandit sign. They were using bandit signs to do marketing. And I talked to the seller, but I was so tired, and I actually yawned when I was talking to them, and they started laughing. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Number one, that's a no-no. I mean, that's the ultimate no-no. Number two, tell me that you did not close on that deal. And she said, actually, no, I did not. The seller was like, I'm going to call you back. Exactly. So needless to say, I kind of dug into her a little bit because obviously, you do, that's probably rule number one. Do not talk to a seller when you're tired, when you're in a bad mood. Don't call them late. Don't disrespect them and call them at 10 o'clock at night. So these are some of the basic things that you do not do. all right? You want to make sure that when you call homeowners, you're happy. Even if you've had a bad day, you have to learn as an effective negotiator and salesman to put that on the back burner and understand that it's business. So you're going to have to wear that hat. If you can't do that, do not call them, period.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what as they say, all this stuff some of it may sound trite or whatever, but, when I leave voicemails, I have I'm smiling when I talk to people because that stuff comes through the phone lines. I'll get up and walk around. Some of the same techniques that you may have heard of or read about, I do those things, when I'm talking to sellers. So, and those are very good points, Lo, because you really want to be in a mental, you want to be in that mental space where your mind is clear and you're not tired, you're not hungry, you're not angry, So you want to be mentally grounded for those phone calls.
That is absolutely correct. Now, let's dig into hearing the needs and wants of sellers. Hearing the needs and wants, one, you want to find those pain points, okay? Number two, listening and hearing and acknowledging what the true needs are. Focusing the seller's attention on their needs versus their wants, all right? So I'm just going to, talk a little bit about that. Iman, let me know what your thoughts are for the things that you want to share based on hearing the needs and wants of sellers.
Right. Yeah, I think as you were reading that, I was thinking, you have a person, when you hear a person constantly saying over and over again, for example, I just one deal came to mind to me. It was a very hot deal, and, I just want to be done with this thing. This thing, when people actually use the words, or the phrase, it's just a headache, I'm tired, I just want to be done with this thing. Those are the things that you can refer back to in your conversation. Well, Ms. Johnson, I know, you mentioned earlier that you just want to be done with this thing and it needs a ton of work. There's back taxes, there's some liens and judgments, there's some back water on it. So, this is what you're telling me, this is what I'm hearing from you. So based on those things, what is it that, again, like I said, what is it that you need in order to sell? And that kind of throws people for a loop because they really don't know how to interpret that question. But, yeah, if you throw back to those things in your conversation with them, again, these aren't things that you're not reaching for these things. These are things that they've made mention to you. So you're just pretty much, giving back to them what they said to you about, why it is that they want to sell. So it's important that you really pay attention. And I take notes on all my calls. So
absolutely, and so do I. Yeah, that's a great point. I was just going to say that's a great point. I do too. Whenever I call the lead, I take notes and those key things that the seller tells me. Well, I'm going through a divorce. We need to sell, but we just want to make sure we make some money. Just like Stacy, the call that you heard. Ultimately, what happened on that call, when I followed up with her, and follow-up is definitely key, but when I followed up with her, she said, we want to sell. I understand that you need to get it at a discount. When would you like to see it? So that was the follow-up conversation. So once we scheduled a date, I went out there, took a look at the property. I actually sat there and talked with them for about 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. We talked. They let me know what their pain points was. I think their son needed some money. He had a situation going on, and they had another property, but they really needed to sell. And they didn't need the house. They didn't need that house. And I knew the house was in a great area, so I just took that extra time to find out what their pain point was. I continued to listen to them and build that rapport. And based upon their wants, I focused more on their wants based upon their needs. So, the needs versus the wants. So when you listen, you just have to really listen. You take those notes, then you can use that to build your case and to effectively negotiate a price that the sellers are willing to accept because you built that rapport with them.
Right. Absolutely. And I was thinking, too, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, but like for example, when you were talking about, why is it, excuse me, that you need to sell? I mean, of course, you don't want to sound like a robot. Well, why is it that you need to sell? And blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Just, I'm just curious. I mean, there's a way to phrase these questions without sounding like you're reading from a script. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, you do it enough, you're going to be able to rattle these things off your head. It's going to be second nature to you. But, just curious, you know what I mean? Especially in the case with you, Lo, with a cold call, because you didn't seek this person out. You know what I'm saying? So
Correct.
they won't be thrown by that question, why is it that you need to sell? And then, you just bring their attention back to that,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's talk a little bit about closing with ease. Closing with ease, number one, you're delivering your pitch with direct confidence. You're also acknowledging your position and solidifying your offer, supporting their needs and their wants. Also, you don't chase your tail. You stand your ground, and you watch them sign on the dotted line. Iman, you want to talk a little bit about these key points?
Yeah, I do. I mean, what comes to mind for me, for example, is when we get to that fuzzy little area called price. So, say for instance, I don't know, you've been going back and forth with price. Base, I'm just trying to think of how I, talk to people is that, given, whatever, you're able to build your case off of, this is what, we would be able to offer, and just be quiet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And, and I've been on the phone for several minutes of silence, but I won't open my mouth because why? The first person that speaks loses. So don't be afraid to, offer whatever your offer is if you're offering, because I try to let them come throw a number out first. I really don't ever want to be the first person. But, just
right.
Stand your ground, like Lo says, stand your ground. Throw your number out there, whatever that's going to be, and just shut up. So it's very powerful.
Absolutely, and I think that is a great tip, and it works. It really does. And, if you say you're talking to a homeowner and you say, well, the best that we can do, based off of all the information you shared, yada, 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 is $30,000. Make sure you say that with confidence.
Exactly.
Don't say, well, the best we can do is $30,000.
Yeah, with a question mark.
And if you heard the projection in my voice, I went up like, okay, well, I hope you say yes.
Right.
So it's those small things that make a huge difference in the seller accepting your offer. So make sure you are delivering your offer with confidence.
Absolutely.
Now, another thing, let's talk about what is the key strategy that will put thousands more in your pocket at closing. This is fun. You make your offer in the worst-looking room of the seller's house. This works. You agree with me, Iman?
Yes, I do. It does.
I can't tell you how many times. Yeah, say it again.
You can't argue with what you're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you argue this picture right here? You can't argue with it. So.
Absolutely. So it's hard for a seller to say, you know what, we really want full retail value or full market value for our property. If you're standing in a room such as this that you see, and you look at them and say, the best that we can offer cash because your property needs X amount of work is yada, yada, yada. Psychologically, they will look around and something will click and they say, you know what, you're right. And they are more apt to accept your offer. It works. Now, this reminds the seller that the house needs a lot of work, and they will be more open to accepting your offer. This one strategy alone is worth thousands of dollars, and it does. I can't tell you how many times I've used this strategy to close a deal and to write the contract on the spot. You agree, Iman?
Absolutely. I sure enough do. I do it all the time.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about this. Do you need help negotiating deals? That's the question, okay? Not sure, you're not sure what to say or how to say it. You need some guidance and direction. Don't allow doubt and fear to keep you from reaching your dreams, goals, and making money. There are a lot of you that are listening to this webinar, watching this webinar right now, that is one of the key things that's keeping you from making more money, closing more deals, is because you do not know how to effectively negotiate deals. You don't know what to say. Or you're just fearful of picking up the phone. And you know what that does? That cripples you from going to the next level and discourages a lot of you not to even move forward or continue to push forward. So Iman and I both say stop. Stop losing deals to other investors, because that's what you're doing. That is what you're doing. From everyone that you are not talking to, that you're not calling back because you're scared, we are getting those deals. We are closing on those deals. And we are getting checks and wire transfers like the ones you see on the screen. $7,500, $2,000, $8,700, $1,400, $2,500. And these are just some of the deals that we are closing on a monthly basis. Isn't that right, Iman?
Absolutely.
So stop allowing us and other investors to get your deals, okay? Now, what we are going to offer, what Iman and I are going to offer to you, get personal training, all right? This is what we want to offer to you guys. We want to give you 2 one-hour sessions where we help you, we talk to you, and we will even look at some of the leads that you have that's sitting on your desk right now, where sellers are waiting for you to call them back, okay? 2 one-hour sessions. We're also going to coach you on your first closing. So if you need help, you have no clue of what to say, and you have a seller that's interested in working with you, we're going to help you on your first deal. We're also going to give you 45 days of unlimited email and phone support, all right? And I know you're asking, okay, so what's the cost? What is the cost for all of this? Normally, 2-hour sessions with myself or Iman is $300 an hour. Easy. And we've had people to pay us that individually. So 2-hour sessions will normally cost about $600 or more. But today only, we want to help you guys. You know, we want to make this affordable so that that deal that's potentially sitting on your desk that can earn you $5,000, we want to help you. We want to help you get that deal closed, negotiate it properly, and get it closed. So for $197, which is a one-time fee, you're going to get 2 one-hour sessions with myself and Iman. One with me, one with Iman. That's a $600 value. Also, coaching on your first closing, okay, on your first deal. This is a $500 value. 45 days of unlimited email support, which is a $500 value. So in total, you're looking at a $1,600 value for only $197. All you have to do is simply go to www.closelikethepros.info. And we're only looking to work with the first or the next 17 people, for those of you that take action. Iman, what do you want to share with those that are listening?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity. Opportunities like this don't come along every day. And I believe that are there some bonuses too, Lo? Or?
Absolutely, there's bonuses. We have 2 bonuses for you guys. For those of you that take action, we're going to give you a 10 Take Action Negotiating Tips report. It's a great report. It has a ton of tips that's going to help you, all right, with your negotiating skills and help you build more confidence. And also Iman's 17 super cool tools to use in your wholesale real estate investing business. So for those of you that take action, all right, of what we're offering, you're going to get these 2 products for free. Again, only $197. 2 one-hour sessions, coaching on your first deal, your closing, and 45 days of unlimited email support, which is a $1,600 value. Just simply go to closelikethepros.info. Stop leaving money on the table and stop allowing other investors such as myself and Iman and other local investors to get your deal. Because when I first got started, Iman, I remember I would follow up with people if I wasn't really comfortable, at first, in which I wasn't. I would call people back and, do the follow-ups. And a lot of them would say, well, we've already sold the property. We've already sold the property. And so I got the nerve enough to start asking, well, who did you sell your property to? Oh, there was another investor that had called, and we liked his offer or what he, shared with us, so we went ahead and we went it. And I'm thinking, great. And that's what's happening to those of you that are not confident or you're fearful. And Iman, can you share maybe at the beginning of your wholesale real estate investing career, how was it with you in your negotiating?
Excuse me. I was terrified, Lo, to tell you the truth. And, I was listening to what you were saying. I mean, sometimes, I would maybe make the initial phone call, and I would be so excited that I got the voicemail that I didn't actually have to talk to somebody. And then, call me back, and then I wouldn't call them back because I didn't know what the heck to say. Like, I was just so terrified, and, I mean, I just, not because this is Lo and I'm sitting here looking at what you're getting for 197. I mean, this really is, I mean, I'm not just saying this, this is unheard of. 2 1-hour sessions around negotiating. This isn't just about, sending direct mail or some, which is very important, but I'm saying you're getting 2 1-hour sessions, you're getting coaching, and unlimited email support for 197.
Absolutely, and we're not even asking to split. If we talk to the seller on your first closing, if we coach you through that, okay, and you actually get that deal contracted and you close and make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, we don't want to split that. We're not asking for a dime of that. If anything, we probably want a testimonial,
right?
But we're not even asking for that. So for $197. We're just saying, hey, we're going to coach you through getting some of these deals closed. So we don't even want a part of whatever you make. So take advantage of this awesome opportunity. We appreciate all of you being on this webinar. Iman, did you want to say anything?
No, I just, again, I mean, I just think it's an awesome opportunity because this is, it's an investment. Like you said, if we're able to coach you, guide you, through what to say and what to offer and, on and on and on. And you got unlimited email support, with a minimal investment of $197 and you walk away, with a check from the closing table, $5,000, $10,000, $3,000, $7,000. I mean, that's like nothing to be able to then walk away with something like that, and you're just going to be on top of the world. So
absolutely. And again, we're only looking to work with the first 17 of you to take action because we don't want to be bombarded. We want to be able to focus on the first 17 people that do sign up so we can help you and be productive. Again, go to www.closelikethepros.info. Iman, thank you so much. And everyone that was a part of this webinar, that tuned in and for your time, thank you. Have a great, blessed night, and take action.